Hello, 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 hello. So, today we will be doing the first tarot readings for the new year. And as part of that, I have this fluorite wand, which I'm going to be using to just gently brush your energy and going to be pointing at you to fill you with positive energy. The decks that I'm going to use this month, I'm going to use my TaroT deck, and then I'm also going to use some other Art Nouveau style decks, the Art Nouveau Lenormand, and my astrological oracle cards. And to go along, grab my lighter, sorry, to go along with the purification, we're going to be starting a new year. So anything that you want to leave behind in 2020, just direct it toward the flame. Let's do some breathing together. Breathe in and hold and release, and just release everything that you've been holding on to that you want to let go of. And breathe in and hold and release. Breathe in and hold and release. Great. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. I have this stick of frankincense. Also, I love frankincense. I'm just gonna blow a little bit of this smoke all over you. And if there's anything else, I'll give you one more chance since we're starting a new year. If you have resolutions that you'd like to make, anything that you'd like to leave behind, just focus your intention and release any negative energy into the candle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. All right, Capricorn. Let's set the stage for your reading, shall we? So, first I'm going to pull out the Sun card and the Capricorn card. And both of these cards are going to go into the first house. And that will take care of the Sun and rising signs and also set the stage for the Capricorn energy of the reading. Now, that doesn't mean that you Capricorn moons are left out. This reading will still apply to you as well. But this is a foundational energy on which the Capricorn reading can be built. Okay, so then we have Leo in the second house. No, you know what? That doesn't feel right. Hold on. I need to shuffle them more. And if Leo comes out in the second house again, then we'll know. That's what it's supposed to be. Alright, Libra in the second house, Virgo in the third, Aquarius in the fourth, Cancer in the fifth, Leo in the sixth, Gemini in the seventh, Sagittarius in the eighth, Aries in the ninth, Scorpio in the 10th house, Pisces in the 11th house, and Taurus in the 12th house. A lot of people have gotten Aquarius here in the 4th house. It's very interesting. Might be a lot of movement of homes for some people. Hopefully that's a good thing. Having thumb trouble with my planet cards. Let's see. Don't be so sticky. Thumb trouble. Thumb trouble. How punny of me. That's a little bit better. All right. Here we go. Saturn Pluto, Venus, Mars, Neptune, Jupiter, and finally the moon coming out. So the moon is creating that triad there for you of the sun, moon, and rising. We've tied it all together. I've connected the dots. I've connected them. Let's add the Celtic cross spread over the top. I'm not going to read these cards as they lie. I'm going to use them to augment the meanings of the tarot cards, so that when I do the Celtic cross spread over the top, it will enrich the meaning. That past, present, future, goal or destiny. This is your perspective. This is the outside perspective, hopes and fears, and the final outcome. All right, Capricorn, let's look. This is you. This is the significator position. We have the Ten of Wands here. So this is Saturn and Sagittarius's energy. We don't have Saturn in Sagittarius in the circle of cards, so this might be a transitory energy too, this being the current position. But it is a burden or oppression that you are under. Crossing that, we do have the Emperor. This could be somebody stepping on your neck, but it could also be that even though you are carrying this burden, the head that wears the crown is very heavy. As heavy as the head that wears the crown. It could be an energy of, because you have so much responsibility in the rule of others, that it is burdensome to you at this time. We will look at the past. Here in the 11th house we have Pisces. So 11th house is about innovation. It's about groupthink. And Pisces is about your psychic intuition and your internal emotional states. We have Jupiter here, so there's an expansion of wealth probably. We also have Taurus here in the 12th house of endings, so there could be an ending to some possession. Something that you have, you might be selling, possibly. We have the moon here too. There could be hidden things. There could be, like if you're selling a house, there could be structural issues that you need to address, or other things about the house that are going to need to be addressed before you can sell it, for example. Or you could have an emotional attachment to the possessions. We also have here Libra in the 2nd house, parity. So reaching a state of equality with possessions. We have Saturn here influencing that 2nd house energy. Saturn having to do with established things, things that have taken a long time to build. So let's look at the past. We have the Lover's card here in the upright. This could be about the beginning of a relationship that started in the past. Maybe you're still in this relationship. The Lover's card can also have to do with choices that you make. You can see here that this is a depiction of Adam and Eve just about to be banished from the Garden of Eden. It was a choice that they made, changed their lives forever. That is also the energy of the Lover's card. We'll look here at the current state of affairs. So we have Saturn here, and that's also touching Virgo in the 3rd house. Virgo is a very analytical and sometimes neurotic energy, but also very detail-oriented. Analytical and detail-oriented. We have Mercury, who governs Venus, also here. And the 3rd house being about communication and also possibly about short-distance travel. So this could be a situation where you've communicated with someone over a long period of time, very long period of time. Mercury is a swift energy, though, and it's very interesting that we have those planetary energies juxtaposed here, and that there's this overwhelming sense of there being like a detail-oriented, analytical, mutable earth energy behind it. But probably about communication. We have here your 4th house, which would be your Imam Sili, the lowest point of your astrological wheel. And that's Aquarius. We have Uranus here, who is Aquarius's ruler. And Mercury. Mercury and Uranus are very similar energies thematically, in that Mercury is a swift energy, has to do with ideas and with communication having to do with other people. Now, Uranus is an iconoclastic energy and also has to do with groupthink. So, also a generational energy. So all the people of a generation thinking and feeling a certain way. Now, that's not the totality, of course, but things changing over time. And this being your 4th house, there could be a change of home. So I'm seeing possible sale of property here, seeing possible change of home here. We have the Page of Wands in the reverse. The Page of Wands is a lower vibrational version of the Queen of Wands, and the Page of Wands is an earth of fire energy. Now, it's over here by this Virgo card, so this could represent a Virgo. It could represent a situation in which you should have taken action on a creative idea and haven't done it yet. Can also have to do with the nascence of creative ideas, and that maybe you are often very creative, but this isn't one of those times. We'll look back over here, and this represents your opinions and your thought on how the current state of affairs is progressing. And we have here the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. So it could be that you thought that financially speaking you would be much further along at this point in your life. I don't think that you're doing particularly poorly, but I just get the sense the Nine of Pentacles is a very stable financial energy. You can afford whatever you want, and you've got a roof over your head and independence from others. And it seems like, and especially with the Libra in the second house and Saturn influencing that as well, that you've been working on this financial goal for a long time, and you still feel like you have fallen short. Let's look here at the outside perspectives of your situation. So we have Cancer here in the 5th house. Cancer is about the emotions that you reciprocate with other people. And the 5th house can be about romance, can be about creativity. It can also be about raising children, whether that means your children, someone else's children, or even your inner child. Influencing the 5th house, we have Uranus, who is the iconoclast, so maybe some new and fresh ideas coming in. We also have Pluto, who's very much about endings and death. So there could be a situation here where someone else is perceiving an ending with you. In the 6th house, we have the sign of Leo, also being influenced by this Pluto energy. And 6th house is daily routines and your health. Leo is a very good sign for the 6th house in that it's robust energy. Leo rules the heart and also down into the solar plexus. And so it could be about heart health, your heart health being very good. Leo's a very sociable creature. There could be daily routines where you talk to different people, especially with this energy, the communication with Virgo, all of this long-term communication, that could be part of your daily routine. We do have Pluto here, and of course Pluto's about transitions and about death, and also about things that are not totally like the planet of Pluto. Sometimes it's considered a planet, and sometimes it's not. So that kind of transitory, liminal energy as well coming to play. How do other people perceive your situation, looking in from the outside? I see the 5 of Cups in reverse, which is very strange because I feel like others' opinions of you really are not reflecting the truth of the situation. There is burden here. There is kind of a stifled creativity. There is not having gotten as far as you desired to get. But I'm not getting a sense of total failure from any of this. So for others to perceive that, I think that you're probably downplaying a lot of things or being secretive about a lot of things that are going on in your life that are just not anyone else's business. Let's keep going a little further and we'll look at the future. So here in the 7th house now we have Gemini. Gemini and Libra are two very interesting takes on close partnership. right? So here we are in the 7th house, your house of partners, your house of open enemies, and your house of justice. Gemini is about duality, two sides of the self. The good twin, the bad twin, so to speak. It's not the totality of it, but there is a lot of duality to it. We have Venus over here influencing Gemini, so there could be a partner that you feel is your twin, that you feel like you are very synced up with this person, and you think a lot in the same ways, and you have a lot of the same opinions on things. Somebody's having a bad night. We have Pluto kind of edging in on that 7th house as well, so there could be an ending to that situation. We have Sagittarius up here in the 8th house that's also being influenced by Venus's energy. The 8th house can be endings, beginnings, can also have to do with sex. Sagittarius being the things that you do to elevate yourself. So it could be too that if you have had an unhealthy relationship with sex in the past, that you're trying to transcend that in this time. And then finally, we'll touch on this 9th house a little bit before I go into the future, just because all of these cards are kind of touching each other quite a bit. The 9th house being Aries. And so again, these themes of the things you do to better yourself, travel, long distance travel, higher education, and spiritual matters, spiritual enlightenment. Aries is about beginnings and making a start to something. So there could be a start to something. You could end up going back to college. You could end up starting to plan a trip of some kind, or you could be starting a spiritual journey of some kind as well. Mars and Venus are stacked right next to each other here also. And Mars is the ruler of the sign of Aries. So that has some bearing on that placement as well. And Mars and Venus being the two opposing aspects of human sexuality. Mars is also a very active energy, so there might be an action being taken specifically at this time. The future, we have the 3 of Pentacles can be a card about apprenticeship, and here it's in the reverse. It's a job that you've done well enough that you are now able to work independently with supervision. People do respect your opinion in your line of work. It's in the reverse here, though. I'm probably going to end up pulling some clarifiers about this. Because there's definitely a narrative going on here. And definitely a narrative when it comes to money as well. But I'm not sure if this is in the reverse because it's in the future, or if it's in the reverse because people don't think about your expertise in your given field. So I'll continue the reading and see if we get more information about that, and also pull some more cards probably. Over here we have your hopes and fears. It's the Ace of Swords. You're hoping for a big change. that you can enforce from within yourself. Up here, we have your goal or destiny. So, what we're looking at that Mars in Aries energy. We've got Scorpio in the 10th house. Death, sex, other people's resources. Scorpio in the 10th house, you could be a sex worker. You could work in the mortuary field. You could also be in the stock market. We have Neptune here, which is a watery but active energy. Lots of fluid, so embalming fluid, bodily fluid possibly. And that's also influencing this 9th house energy. Like waves crashing on the shore. There's also this idea of interstate commerce, but over the ocean, or international commerce that involves traveling by water. We have Jupiter here, wealth and expansion. So whatever field this represents for you, there could be great wealth and expansion as a result. Scorpio is also hidden things. So there could be hidden ways that you are making money. Your goal or destiny card, we have the Sun. And the Sun is never bad in a reading. Even if it's in the reverse, it's always good. Always. So eventually everything is going to work out and it's going to be perfect and beautiful for you, Capricorn. Let's look over here at the final card for the reading, and then I will go back and clear this up. Just because. So, I did talk a little bit at the start of the reading about the 11th and 12th houses, but just a reminder that there might be an expansion of psychic awareness as it relates to manifestation of wealth, and there might be emotions tied to sale of property. Just kind of like glossing over that. There are a lot more intricacies to that that may come out when I turn this card over, but that's kind of the gist of it. And sure enough, we have the World card coming out for you, and the upright. The World card is completion. The World card is a satisfactory ending. And as a matter of fact, I did just do the Tav pathworking exercise. So that's now live on the channel if you're interested in Kabbalistic pathworking. Let's pull out these cards. I have my Lenormand deck here, and I will clarify this card. I don't think these cards need any clarification whatsoever. It's just a happy ending, basically. Whatever this is that you wish for may or may not end up happening. Maybe even in spite of that. In spite of the change that you wish to make, things might turn out a happy ending. And I decided to make it really matchy with all of the Art Nouveau decks this month, because I love Art Nouveau. I have seen a few other decks. I have the Ethereal Visions deck, and I just ordered the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. But if there are other Art Nouveau Tarot decks or Oracle decks that you like a lot, please recommend them to me down in the comments, because I love Art Nouveau. love Art Nouveau so much. The style Gaudi. It would be really cool to get to go to Spain sometime and see the Sagrada Familia. But I already had a dream where I was Gaudi and I was sleeping in the Sagrada Familia. And I was so sick. And then years later, of course, when I watched more documentaries about him, I started to understand that dream a little bit better. I don't think that I necessarily was Gaudi in a past life, although we do share some of the same sensibilities. But I think sometimes, and especially because he was so sick, he almost died, and did end up dying, I think, during the building of the Sagrada Familia. Because of that, sometimes parts of you will chip off and float up into space, and occasionally someone will kind of pass through it and get to watch a little movie about your life. Anyhow, back to you, Capricorn. Let's look at this Three of Pentacles in a little more detail. We have the scythe here, cutting something out. We have the bouquet. Now, the bouquet can be a gift, or it can be a flirtation. It could be that you are trying to stop flirting with other people. We also have the garden here. This could be read a few different ways, because in one way, if you are not being taken seriously and you're flirting a lot with people in a work setting, or even in a social group, you might not be taken seriously because of that. But there are other ways to look at this too. You might be cutting yourself out of a certain social group that was gifting you with the ability to get certain jobs or take on certain kinds of work. That could be part of it as well. Let me pull another card about that, because that's a very interesting turn of events here. Well, we do have the lily here. The lily coming out could be an elderly person that you're dealing with, or an older group of people maybe, no longer hanging out with older people. But the lily could also be about discretion. So I guess the lesson here is that this is a general reading, and for some of you it's going to mean one thing, and for others of you it's going to mean the other. Thank you. 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 Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And until next time, I hope to see you again very, very